Happy May the 4th be with you, everybody. We are live on the Followers of the Force podcast. How is everybody doing on this fine May the 4th?
Good.
Good? Just good? Jason, I need your energy level a bit higher.
I'm full of many emotions. All of them about the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
My one level of emotion all day.
Yeah, without spoiling it, I was not prepared for like the first 10 minutes. I didn't think I was going to get that in there.
No.
And I was like, oh. So
We're going there. We did that.
It was definitely a time. It was definitely a
The
time.
whole thing.
Did anyone here wake up like right at 7 or look at me 7 like 2:50?
No.
Before
No,
to
but
get
I
it
fell
like
asleep
right when
on
it
the-
went on.
I fell asleep on the couch and woke up and went to bed at like 2, and I was like, should I just stay up and watch? And it was like, no, because it's an hour and 15 minutes long. By the time I finally go to bed, it's going to be like 4 o'clock. I got to work.
Oh no.
So.
Well, Jason, you were able to watch it though, like the whole.
Yeah, I watched like half of it at lunch and then half of it after work, and then
Okay.
and then I restarted the first part of it again because I wanted to rewatch the first part.
Okay.
Oh, it's so good.
All right.
I have
So
many thoughts, but
yeah, which we're gonna get into everything now in a little bit. But first, we've got a very special guest that's gonna be joining us tonight. We've got James Zahn of the Toy Insider, the Pop Insider, senior editor, and I'm going to bring him on. We might have a little bit of an audio issue, but I'm gonna see if I bring him on if he can hear us. So let's welcome James to the show. James, can you hear us yet or no?
Hi, James.
Probably not. Not yet. Okay. We will
He's got his mute on.
issue.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm
Um,
bored as if I have any control to help.
oh no.
Like, not or not, I don't know what I'm doing. So,
But while we're fixing that, James is actually going to be on talking to us about the Bad Batch, and all of the awesome merchandise that has been released today for May the 4th. And if nobody has seen the lightsaber, I mean,
I woke up at whatever time Rachel, I believe it was Rachel, in our Discord chat sent
All
the like text or the tweet about the lightsaber. I woke up for that, but it was like 2 a.m. my time.
And you're like, oh, lightsabers are real.
And I
So-
just watched. Yeah, I was like, lightsabers real. I was like, excuse me.
yeah. So I think we got James now, so we're going to bring him on. James Zahn, everybody.
Oh.
James, how are you doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hi.
That
I can
is
hear you.
Yes.
okay.
hear you.
That is a great
Hey.
thing. Of course, we had to have the technical difficulties to start things off.
Oh no,
But-
you're good. You are
Happy
good.
May 4th. How are you?
Woo,
We
Good, how
are
are
doing
you?
great.
good.
Doing well.
Awesome. So, James, it's been a pretty crazy day already with the Bad Batch, with a lot of Star Wars merchandise, and probably the closest thing, at least right now, that we're ever going to get to an actual lightsaber. So, let's just kick it off with the thing that started today, which is the Bad Batch. And first, I want to get your thoughts on like where was the hype for you before today? Like, were you super excited for it, or were you kind of like, all right, I'll see where it goes?
Kind of in the see where it goes category because, like many people, I've sort of followed these characters off and on since they first surfaced at Star Wars Celebration some years ago in the unfinished episode. And then last year, of course, they had their whole proper story arc on the Clone Wars, which I very much enjoyed. And sort of the main thing with them, I think, is because I'm so ingrained in toys, as many of us are, but the second you saw the crew, you just go, I want the action figures.
Yeah.
And that was, in some cases, a couple of years ago now.
Right.
So seeing how they were going to spin this off into a period of time that we've explored before and make it work really was intriguing, but I wasn't like on super hype level.
Yeah.
Now I've seen it. So
And now, what are your thoughts?
I dig it. I think they
Nice.
did a really great job on the first episode. I think it was a smart thing to go a little bit longer with this first one, and then the fact that they're going to do the Mandalorian style thing where we're going to get another episode in 3 days, I think is a smart way to roll that out. But I really think they've come a long way too in the animation. It
For sure.
looks. It's always looked better with each series, but this one, I mean, really, really looks good.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about you guys? I know that we've been talking about the Bad Batch for a couple weeks now with predictions, what's going to happen to these characters, who are some of these characters. And after this first episode, is any of that a little clearer for you guys? And I'm going to start off with the person who is probably the most hyped, Hannah. What are your thoughts after this first episode?
Was it the shirt that gave it away?
I mean,
Is that what it
probably.
was?
Maybe a little bit.
Okay, I couldn't tell. Anyways, no,
Yeah.
for me, it was just like because I've said it multiple times. When I first saw this arc in Star Wars, I was not excited. I'm like, oh my God, I want to get to Ahsoka. I need all the pain and suffering of Order 66. Like, I don't care. I really wasn't about it when I first watched it.
Right.
But after like the whole season was done and I kind of went back and started watching things, I'm like, these guys are kind of cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, like, are they going to do anything else with him? Because at the time, like, it felt very one-off for me. And then I
Yeah.
heard about the announcement, thing like that. So yeah, and then I kind of got more excited and I started digging into it a little bit more and then kind of thinking about the characters more. And it really got me excited. And then I think after this, again, I agree, the 70-minute episode was great. Like, I was halfway through it this morning, like holding my cup of coffee, and I'm like, are we almost done? No, we're only halfway through. Oh my God, this
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. Because like for me, like the story just kind of sucked me in because like at the beginning, you have all these characters. I'm not going to spoil it too much yet. I'm going to give people some time. But you have all of that at the beginning, and then you kind of start looking more at the batch kind of individually and as a whole in their particular dynamic. Because outside of, I think maybe like what the 501st and the 212th, you really don't get to see a lot of those like clone to clone dynamics. And this group, again, being as unique and individual as they are, it made really interesting. And you throw in Omega, who's kind of the wild card of the group, and you're like, this has some interesting possibilities.
Yeah.
Because again, like we've sort of explored this area, but not in the immediate aftermath of
Right.
Order 66, the rise of the Empire, and like their particular consolidation of power and what that kind of looks like. So I think this is going to be good.
Yeah, for sure. And Jason, we also talked about this last year when the trailer dropped, or maybe it was it last year? Last year. And we were like,
Yeah.
we weren't really too excited about it. And then the second
I
trailer
wasn't
dropped.
I wasn't excited. Yeah, I wasn't excited about the announcement. I was kind of like, the Bad Batch, really? Okay. I'm like, it was one of these deals where like, well, I'll watch it. I mean, I know I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Just how excited. It was the trailer they showed at the big announcement when they announced all 300 Star Wars shows that are coming out in the next 100 years. That I actually got. It was like, oh, this actually might be good. And then the second trailer, I was like, okay, yeah, I want to watch this. And I got to say, I really enjoyed it. I tried to temper my expectations because I think the closer it got to it, the more excited I was going to get about it. But when I turned it on, because I just split it up. I watched like half of it at lunch, and then I watched half of it after work. And that first 35 minutes I watched, I was like, oh my God, because at first I was kind of like, I don't know, because you did like the recap like they used to do on the Clone Wars with that guy that talks like this. Going
Tom
and,
King!
But the clips they showed were like, they were like, well, they're animated clips from Revenge of the Sith. I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then that whole opening, I was not prepared for it. I was like, when they said what they were, I was like, wait, where are they?
Yeah.
And then they meet the Jedi. You're like, wait, who is that? That means that her Padawan is, oh my God. And then at that point, I was like, into the episode. I was like, and then the rest of it, I'm kind of glad I split it up because it took me some time to like sort of decompress after that first 35 minutes. It was like,
Yeah.
Okay, a lot just happened.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Um,
I really picked like the perfect spot. It's not really a spoiler, but like when they go off on the mission was where I had stopped, and so when I came back,
Got
I
it.
watched from
Mhm.
the mission to the end. So.
Got it. So, Meg and Megan, what are your thoughts on today's episode? And kind of the same question that I gave everybody else. How has it either elevated or just like made you be like, oh man, this isn't what I expected from just the first episode?
Yeah, I wasn't that excited about it ultimately. To start with, foreshadowing of how my feelings have changed.
They did so much.
Yeah, when I watched season 7,
It's the twist. The twist is coming.
yeah, and like really when I was watching the Clone Wars as a whole, it's not that I didn't care about the clones, but they weren't the most interesting part to me. Like I really enjoyed all the Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka interactions, getting to see a bit more like Anakin and Padme behind the scenes and just filling in that time gap. And the clones were like a fun part of it, and I cared about them, but I wasn't like super driven by my love for them. So when we had the Bad Batch arc in season 7, I was like, oh, it was probably my least favorite of the arcs. So I wasn't that excited when they announced that the Bad Batch was going to be a show. I wasn't like, oh, this is going to suck or anything like that. I just didn't have any expectations for it. I was like, oh, it might be just like more of a kind of shoot 'em up. Like we've got Wrecker being like crazy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It premiered at like 7 p.m. my time yesterday, so I didn't have to wake up super early. So I'm like well rested.
Rub it in.
Yeah, but my partner and I sat down to watch it, and I was surprised at how endeared I became to all the characters like right away. And I was really happy that it feels like, yes, there is, the kind of shoot 'em up fun actiony sequences, but there's a lot of like emotion and character driven storyline, even just in the first episode. And they've set up a lot of cool things.
Right.
I took notes through the whole first episode because I was like, oh, I'm not so invested that I need to like see every second of it, which I sent to Hannah in the Discord last night. I won't say like too many of them because of spoilers, but a lot of it is like, especially at the beginning, like, oh no, I've just realized what the timeline is. Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, who's that? Oh no. I'm like, don't make me watch this.
There's a lot of exclamation points. Just
I
the
go
whole
into caps
thing.
a few times. But I really enjoyed it, and I'm like excited for the next episode. It felt similar to when I walked out of Solo, and I didn't have any expectations walking in, so I just had fun the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt with the first episode, and similar thing. I don't really have expectations for the second one. Like I'm hoping I can carry this momentum until I get too invested.
Yeah.
And then I just start like theorizing and wanting things. Yeah.
Right.
It's a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen you.
Like, this is what not to do.
I'm like, I've been hurt before.
Seriously, we all
that's where I sat. I ended up really enjoying it. Having a good one of my favorite things about really seeing like any movie or any new piece of media is getting to like talk to somebody about it after. So I messaged Hannah after, and of course I was watching it with my husband. So it was like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? I really liked how they did that. So I feel really like good and positive about the whole experience.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Meg, what about you? What are your thoughts?
First of all, my prediction that there'd be no Jedi was very wrong immediately. My bad. Whatever. It's fine. I'm fine with being wrong. It was worth it. So like I was in the same like boat in terms of like not being too excited about the Bad Batch when it was first announced. And like that, like my excitement like increased as it got closer and we got a trailer and kind of learned a little bit more about what was happening, maybe. And I was, I was still excited like leading up to it like yesterday, but then I was in like a Facebook group and someone had posted about like them not feeling excited about the show and being kind of worried about that. And one of the comments said something about like, remember that in Filoni's animated shows, you're seeing things through the eyes of the kids a lot of the time. And once I read that, I went into it like really trying to see like, paying attention to Omega and like what her kind of viewpoint was going to be and like what her role was going to be in the story. And in a way, we also kind of got that toward the beginning a little bit too, with, you know, things that happened. I'm not going to say anything, but I just like watching it that way. Like I was already excited for Omega and now I'm just like, what does it mean?
Yeah.
But like overall, it was, I like to go into these kinds of things without too many expectations for sure. And that's what I did. And it was basically like everything I'd wanted and then a little bit more. It was like the perfect mix of like action and like a little bit of humor and like it had heart to it too. And like this is only the first episode and we're already getting one on Friday and I'm just like I'm really excited. And it's you know, there are a lot of episodes coming. It's gonna be really good.
Yes, it is. And we're gonna save the more spoiler discussion probably for the second hour because while we did get an amazing first episode for the show, we also got a lot of amazing merchandise that dropped today. And what better person to have here to talk about it than James? So James, before we get into that, I want to ask you, sort of for anybody that isn't familiar with what you do and sort of how in tune you are with this stuff, if you can give us just a little bit of background on yourself and what can we be? Because I know a lot of people have already bought a ton of stuff. I know some people in this live stream have probably maxed out their credit cards. But tell us a little bit about yourself and what we should be spending our money on, frankly, today.
Sure. So I'm James Zahn. I am a senior editor at the Pop Insider, which is a magazine that publishes 4 times a year in print. We typically are out at a lot of big fan events like San Diego and New York Comic Con and stuff that have unfortunately gone away this past year and a half. We're very in tune to the fan community and all of the licensed merch that goes along with it. But the Pop Insider, which actually officially turns 3 years old today, is a spin-off. Our parent company is called Adventure Media and Events. It's been around since 1984. The primary magazine that we've been known for is The Toy Book, which is the trade magazine for the toy industry. It's basically Variety or Hollywood Reporter, but for people in the toy industry. So we're talking manufacturers, retailers, licensors, etc. You name it, you're involved with the business of toys. Toy Book is your thing. And then we have a consumer side of that, which is called the Toy Insider. And that's where like moms, dads, grandparents, anybody that's actually buying toys for kids is going to want to go and, look at that as a resource. And in the fall, we partner up with Parents Magazine and we do a big gift guide there. And on the Pop Insider side, we do a big Pop Insider gift guide in print that has all like the merch that all of us are going to want going into the holiday season. So we do a lot on all fronts. And of course, Star Wars is a huge part of that. When I started with Pop Insider, one of the first 2 articles that I wrote that 3 years ago this week, one was a tour of Marvel Studios in LA, and the other one was Force for Change when that launched.
Oh, wow.
In 2018. So that was an appropriate way to kick things off on Star Wars Day, which had just sort of happened that way. And then last year, the big winter issue came out at Toy Fair New York 2020 and had a awesome cover. It's actually peeking out behind me there for the folks that are watching this visually. It had it was the first photograph that had ever officially been shown of the Star Wars The Black Series, the child, Baby Yoda, being thrown in the air by Mando. I'm actually going to pull up the cover here. This is Mitchell Wu. If you're familiar with his work, he is a noted toy photographer. And for Toy Fair New York, that product hadn't been revealed yet. So they actually sent Hasbro sent the prototype Baby Yoda. It's like a 2.5-inch figure. They FedExed it out to Mitchell in Los Angeles, and it was basically like, okay, you've got like 2 days to do what you got to do, and you got to send the prototype back because we need it for Toy Fair. So he did its thing. It's awesome. And we had a cool cover story that went with that. And then we hope to do another big Toy Fair thing this year, but Toy Fair didn't happen. It was lots of virtual events and stuff.
Yeah.
We still published a cool issue, but last year we just happened to have that Grogu thing happening. I called the feature "Behold the Child" because it was that's everybody was like, oh, when he came out, you know.
Yeah.
So now here we are, and it's Bad Batch time, and you talk about an onslaught of merchandise. We didn't even cover it all when the stuff hit. You know, we have these things called embargoes where people show us stuff early, you know, and we're not allowed to show it or say anything about it until a certain time. So we knew certain things were going to be announced today, and then this morning, Disney Consumer Products comes at us and is like, "Oh, here's the gallery of everything we're releasing from every licensee today," and we're just looking at it, and it's like page after page after page, and then there's stuff they don't even have pictures or details for. Like there's an R2D2 Tamagotchi coming out. I don't know if anybody saw that in today's shuffle.
I did see that.
There were many people excited.
But that's all we know. There's no details to go with it. But Bad Batch specific, I think it's really awesome. They are doing an Omega figure already, but we're gonna have to wait until spring of next year. So spring of 2022. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get an Admiral. We're gonna get an Incinerator Trooper. And then, of course, we've got the core characters. 2 of them are out right now, and then the rest are sort of trickling out over the next 4 to 5 months. And then, interestingly enough, if you're a completist, these are all Black Series, by the way. If you're a completist, you got to be looking for Echo, but it's the Clone Wars version of him that's on a Target exclusive card that looks like the Clone Wars style, so sort of before he became part of the Bad Batch. So there's that little tie-in too. So all of that, tons of high-end lightsabers. There was just a Mandalorian Death Watch helmet from Black Series that got announced this morning. That's part of their premium role play. I'm actually on my desk here. I've got one of the older helmets, you know, the Poe Dameron going on. But the helmets are always a ton of fun. The lightsaber set that Shop Disney's going to have with the reforged Skywalker saber, and then of course Leia's saber. Those I heard earlier that they thought they were going to sell out today. I don't know if they did or not.
They did actually.
That was like a $400 thing.
Yep.
And then just anything you can want, socks, jewelry. They put it all out today. And I mean, it seems like May 4th gets bigger every year.
Yeah.
So no matter what your interest, if you're a kid, you're a grown up, there's something out there for you. And there's probably too much out there for you. I know I'm out of space.
Now,
I
like,
actually have a question.
yeah,
if I
go
can
for it,
ask.
Anna. Yeah, sure.
So my question is, like, with the things like the Black Series, like with the Bad Batch figures, why don't they release them all at once versus the trickling that they normally do? Is that more like a marketing thing, or I was just always curious about that, especially with things that come in sets.
Yeah, it's a combination. So you've got that weird assortment thing that they do for retail where sometimes you'll have like 2 of the new characters and then you'll have some older characters mixed in the assortment. But now the distribution is changing a little bit too, with where you're finding all of these exclusive characters. So like Target will have one and Walmart will have one and Amazon. And then they do fan channel retail, which is like your Entertainment Earths and stuff. And they can actually get like full case packs of specific characters. But a lot of it comes down to Lucasfilm or Disney in the background dictating some of the case pack assortments, that like what they want to have on the market at one time is going to be like a sprinkling across the franchise instead of just going, bam, here's a Bad Batch thing. And then part of it too, you get into the spoilers and the fact that these toys, in a lot of cases, the old rule of thumb used to be 18 months from concept to release of a toy. That is shrinking now. We've seen it as low as like 6 months with some of the Baby Yoda product that came out. Action figures still take a while. And now too, in the past year with how it's been with like COVID and everything, everybody's working remotely. So there's less hands-on prototyping and a lot more like 3D and stuff. So it's a whole process, and then they stretch it out, but the biggest core elements are wanting to have a mix of cross-franchise characters available, and then also keeping the spoilers and stuff. So you can expect too, like as we move through the year, there will be additional characters from this show that are going to be revealed, but we're not going to see them as toys until we see them on Disney Plus.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else have a question for James? And anyone in the comments too, like, guys, feel free to ask a question or get some more information on what you should buy, because I almost bought those 2 lightsabers, but I was like, I can't justify near $400. There's no way. So
this is less of a question and and more of a comment. I was on the Pop Insider and Toy Insider websites today, and I was looking at the Toy Insider magazine, because I love that kind of stuff. It reminds me very much of when my grandma would give me like the JCPenney catalog in December to pick out what I wanted to ask Santa for. It was a nice feeling. I am definitely much more like, when I get merch, it's stuff like socks or like cups that have little things on it. It's more things that I'll use in day to day instead of just displaying. I'm shocked at how good action figures look now. I feel like I haven't really looked one in the face.
Really good. And funny enough, so my kids, I have 2 daughters, and they're getting in. They're sort of reaching the age. They're almost 9 and 12 of like developing their own fandoms and stuff. So my youngest just got this My Hero Academia figure the other day, and I'm not intimately familiar with that property, but it was a McFarlane figure, and I was like, wow, I'm really surprised how good this figure looks. It was like a $20 figure, but it's got like 30 points of articulation and high quality paint apps and stuff. And it's easily as good, if not better, than like the Black Series stuff. But even in the last like 3 years, the way the Star Wars stuff has amped up with the photoreal face technology and things.
Hot Toys is killing it.
So it kind of started with that. And then all of these other brands have come up with it. So you have all of these companies, and from low end to high end, you've got like Loyal Subjects is putting out a ton of cool stuff. You've got the McFarlanes out there. Then, of course, like your higher end, not only like the Hot Toys, but Sideshow, Mezco, NECA. I mean, they are just the quantity, Super 7 too. And the range, I think it's interesting too, because there's also that duality that if you want something that looks more older, homemade, they've got that for you too. Like all the reaction figures that Super 7 puts out, or even like, I got one behind me here from Mando, like the Moff Gideon retro that
Those are so cool.
Looks like the old Kenner. So it's made to look not as good as the new stuff, but the new stuff, there's even a phenomenon going on. It's very controversial right now in the comic book industry, where cover artists are using action figures as their models. It used to be, like the artists would use like the human form or those generic body shapes to kind of pose. And now they're starting to use a lot of these really good action figures for them. And that's making their way into the art, where like you're seeing like a painted comic book cover. I'll give you one example. Is there's an Alien cover that's been really controversial lately. And part of the reason is you can actually, if you look closely at this hand-drawn art, you can actually see the joints of the toy, and they don't even realize they're doing it. So that, and look at also how high quality toy photography is right now, where like it really plays with the mind. And that just shows you though, that the base of it really is how good these figures have started looking.
Yeah. And where do you see it progressing? Because I mean, and I guess this is a great point to make a comparison to the lightsaber that was revealed today. That's going to be on the Star Wars, on the Star Cruiser Hotel, where back in the day you had the plastic lightsaber that you would go like that, and then the blade would come out. And then we moved to, the fixed blade with the light, and now the Force effects and the ones over at Galaxy's Edge. But now we have a lightsaber that's actually going to have a blade that comes out. So it's that constant progression. And I'm not saying we're gonna have an action figure that like life size can walk around, talk with you, but do you see us ever getting to a point where the creation of these action figures gets to a point where it's just like it looks almost indistinguishable from what you see on screen?
I
Or
could
is that
totally.
maybe too?
I could
Yeah.
no. I could totally see it happening, because we're already seeing it. Where like you have this phenomenon too right now with like these digital influencers. They're people that look real that are completely fake, kind of like the
Mhm.
deep fake concept with the videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that all starts in a digital form, and a digital file can be printed or molded. Toys are already being made that way. So you're already taking a sculpt in a digital form, and then you do the Hasbro thing and you put the photoreal face technology on it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going digital to digital, and then it's going physical. But the higher quality the digital file, the higher quality the toy you could ultimately put out. And of course, there's going to be cost involved with this, which, you know,
Right.
and we see that now. You've got a $15 figure and then you've got a $300 figure. There's a vast cost difference in that. But it could happen. And there are people that I'd venture to say have even faked it in their toy photography. I mean, some of that stuff gets really, really good. Like when you look at like some of like the Mezco stuff that's out there, like the Christopher Reeve Superman and things that like look like the actor. So I mean, it could totally evolve to that. And I'm going to go back a step further on that lightsaber thing. The one I had was the long piece of plastic. It was the Luke Skywalker Return of the Jedi one that was like a 4-foot tube with a hole in the end. So when you moved it, it went whoa, 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 whoa.
Right.
That's
Oh my
awesome.
goodness.
And
I love
and
it.
the one that predated that was straight up inflatable. The lightsaber they did for Star Wars and Empire was just an inflatable thing like you'd get at a carnival. That's what Kenner was putting out. But yeah, I had the big long one. And when you used to go to like Toys R Us or the local discount store or whatever, they'd have like a box like you get like the wiffle ball bats in, where you just have like 12 lightsabers inverted in there. That's what I had. And I was Darth Vader for like 3 Halloweens in a row, but I had Luke's green lightsaber because that's just what I had. So I went with it, you know?
Yeah. And
it's amazing the jump in technology. Because like I have a Galaxy's Edge lightsaber that I went and built in 2019. And yeah, when I brought it home, my stepdad was like, yeah, mine was just like a painted stick. Like back when I saw the movie when it came out, I just had a painted stick. And I was like, it's cheaper than this one.
Yeah. Yeah. And also we're gonna add Rachel here joining us. So Rachel, we've been talking about Bad Batch, but now we're talking about merchandise. And tell us what you bought today, because I know you bought some stuff.
I have not actually hit purchase on anything today.
Oh.
She's the only one of the group with self-control.
Oh my god.
It's
Nope.
still in the
also
shopping
haven't
cart.
bought
Oh my
anything.
god, David, somebody has to change.
I was here first.
You were. I'm sorry. I had rehearsal,
true.
which literally I need printed on a t-shirt because that's why I miss everything.
Mm.
But no, I haven't purchased anything yet, although I have my eyeballs on a lot of stuff, but thank you, Jason, because you were the push I needed because I was going to buy Forces of Destiny Jyn Erso, but I'm like, I'm an adult. I don't need it. And then Jason sent it to me and I'm like, I need it.
Yeah, that's fair. So we were just talking about the lightsaber that seems like it's just, how can it be real? And like, what are your thoughts on it? Because when I first saw that video, I'm like, that's an effect. Has to be an effect. But it wasn't. It's the actual tech that they're using now.
Like the science side of me and like the theatrical props person in me is trying to figure out how they did it. But my geek brain is just like lightsaber, real cool. Like that's the whole
Lightsaber make brain go brr.
really pretty, make brain go. Oh.
Right.
Have you seen the patent drawing that's been floating around for like 2 years?
I did.
So-
Where it like goes like it's LEDs and it rolls up like that.
Yeah,
and-
that's what the drawing shows. And I remember when that surfaced and I looked at it and I thought, it's kind of a cool idea, but I don't know how that's going to actually look because I
Mhm.
picture like the LEDs that are like in my office and stuff. And I would
Yeah.
think, yeah, it'll look pretty oaky. But
Mhm.
then a couple months ago at one of the investor presentations, one of the Disney execs just like did a mic drop at the end of the presentation and had that lightsaber. And they it was a very strict no photos, no videos. So all you had were people saying, this guy ignited a lightsaber and just says, it's real, and ended the presentation. So
that is how you drop the mic.
yeah, so
Oh.
that's been floating around now for a couple months, but seeing that video today, and then I've seen screenshots now from there has to be a second video somewhere where the girl
Mhm.
playing Rey has her back turned and kind of has the lightsaber out to
Yeah.
the side. So I don't know
Ooh.
where those pictures are coming from, but I'm intrigued. I mean, I want one. I want more than one. I want multiple colors and varieties and things. But
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions. I want to know: can you battle with them? Can you hit
Right.
things with them? What's it all about? But so they need to give us some details.
Yeah.
Yeah, we what was it that we were talking about last week, Jason? Because we were talking about if like you got a real actual cutting things lightsaber, and we decided that this podcast would just all not have fingers anymore because
Yeah,
the most
There's no way I'd have 10 fingers at the end of the first week. It's just
Yeah.
You're trying to spin it like a pen. Yeah.
okay. I
get.
had my first pocket knife like 3 days before I stabbed myself and drew blood with the corkscrew attachment. So I should not be handed a lightsaber.
Yeah.
I was also
Um,
22 at the time.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
So-
I have desperately wanted a lightsaber my entire life, but there's no
Yeah.
way I survive with all my limbs after like
Yeah.
no way.
And like my biggest question with this one is kind of to your point, James, can you do anything with it where it can withstand some sort of like hit? Because I don't know if the like is it kind of like hollow to the point where if you hit it against something it's gonna break, or is it something that you can
Yeah, I
battle
don't
with?
know. In those videos that they put out today, I mean, it doesn't look like there's anything solid there. It doesn't look
Yeah.
like there's a tube that the light is going up in. So there's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But I know in a house with kids anyway. I mean, we got that the Kylo Ren Force effects a couple years ago,
Yep.
and the first thing my youngest daughter did was stab me in the stomach with it. So she basically Han Soloed me with a
It's like
$200
reenactment time.
with a
Oh,
$200 lightsaber. So if we get one of these ones that looks like it extends and it's fragile, it's gonna last like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
the minute you get two of those lightsabers, the first thing you're going to want to do is hit the other lightsaber with it. I mean,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the first thing
Yeah.
you're going to want to do.
and they
When I
even
got
sell.
my, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, Megan.
When I got my Galaxy's Edge one, I bruised mine and my husband's legs just being like bam, bam, because it makes the like noise when you hit something. And then when I went to the midnight premiere of Rise of Skywalker, in my town, there's a group that they're called the like town name Lightsaber Academy,
Mhm.
and they all have those like dualable
they have the
lightsabers,
dual
and
ones.
they'll do like parades and charity events and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
really cool. They have like a tournament on May the 4th every year, so I might see if they're doing it this year. And I knew somebody in it, and I was like, "Oh, look at mine." She was like, "You can't duel with it," so it's like, "What's the point?" kind of thing. So I wonder if that will like ignite a third tier in that
Yeah.
war of like, well, this one's just for show. This one's for like kind of show, kind of play. Like you wouldn't
Right.
actually want to duel, but you could like hit it. You could hit another kid with it if you were like two kids playing. And
Right.
then if this one is just hollow, yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
If it's just hollow like a tube or something, that's not going to withstand. But it would be very cool just for the
That would
feeling
be.
of going like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I broke my. Okay, so I got my lightsaber from the local comic book shop. It was one of them that was from an older line when they used to make like the full like toy lightsabers.
Mhm.
which I had to buy because all the new ones they make are short and for kids, and I'm 5'10", so I was going to look stupid with a shiny lightsaber. I bought my friend's grandson his first lightsaber. We go out to the backyard and duel on Christmas Eve because I'm a grown-up. And apparently mine had been cracked because it was secondhand. 2 hits. I no longer have a lightsaber. And I'm like, I have been bested by my Padawan.
Good.
So that was a great little, my friend Carrie's like, watches me and all of her grandkids troop into the backyard. They're like 6 and 7 at this time. And then we all troop back in. Her grandson's victorious and I'm holding a broken lightsaber. She's like, I'm like, don't ask questions.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't ask Meg this question. Meg, what would be sort of your limit if they told you we're doing one of these, but for the Darksaber? How much money are you willing to put down?
She's like, I will put out a loan on.
Is it like a blank check kind of scenario? Or
There is no limit.
The limit does not exist.
Does not exist.
Just
Does not
screen accurate Mandalorian replica. Just
I would do
Imagine.
I would do anything. I'm not kidding.
She would do some shady stuff for that Darksaber.
Yeah.
Do you
I feel
have the
bad
toy
for
version
Hasbro.
yet?
I have like the $20 one or $30 one or whatever.
I thought they did
somewhere.
a great job with how that turned out for being like a $20 or $30 toy.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
I was expecting like not what it is. I'm very pleased.
Yeah, but now that Black Series version's coming out.
Oh, she knows.
oh, you're so happy.
I'm waiting. If they have the Black Series version before you move, Meg, I'm going to hear on the police scanner, there's a woman running around town threatening people with, what is that? I'm going to be like, oh, God. I'm going to go
demanding
pick up Meg.
everybody rule. Demanding everybody kneels.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
What do you have? I got to go pick up the ruler of Mandalore before the police get her. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh man. James, I actually wanted to ask you this question, still on this topic of the lightsabers. Do you think that something like this would ever be sort of mass produced if it is of a really fragile nature? Because do you think the cost would sort of be too much to keep on, making new ones if they're just going to last, just a bit, unless you sell just, strictly prop, just put it on your thing, or you just take pictures with it or whatnot? Where does that, or is there just like, we'll just make as many as we can?
I don't think Disney's going to put anything out for consumers that's going to be like an intentionally disposable product like that.
Right,
That they would know breaks. I mean, we know from seeing those patents, which I think go back to like 2017 now, that they've been working on this for quite some time. So they're not going to put it out there until they're ready to put it out there.
Yeah.
And again, because we don't know what the end game is with this right now, it may just be a prop, like a stage combat type of thing that is only for the folks working at the resort that are playing with those characters. And maybe as they develop that technology more, then it becomes something that we can go buy. But until they actually tell us, it's still a crapshoot. I mean, look at those advancements though, and how they've done the animatronics, the Kondo, and I don't know if you saw it. They just did a Groot that walks around.
That was impressive.
This stuff has been in development for a very, very long time. I had an opportunity a few years ago to visit Imagineering, and I saw some stuff that was Star Wars related that never came out. So I don't know if that means it's going to come out, which again, if that's the timeline, maybe I saw something 5 years ago that they're just really, really fine tuning and it's going to come out eventually, or maybe they nixed it because there's so many people working on different projects at different times. But I'm excited. I want to see it. Plus, I haven't even been to Galaxy's Edge yet. Timing just hasn't worked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Even before the world shut down.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I know Han has been to Galaxy's Edge. You went recently. And man, to me, the best time I went was for the cast member preview, because I used to work at Disney here in Orlando for a couple of years. And man, when you have such a limited amount of people in that land, it just makes it so much better. Because you're allowed to take everything in. You're allowed to, really feel like you're in it. And I mean, do you have any plans now that everything seems to be opening up, fairly soon with Disneyland reopening? And just seems like we're starting to get over the hump a little bit. Are you making any plans to head out to one of the parks soon, or still kind of taking it easy?
Taking it easy. I mean, part of it too is like, family and trying to figure out how that balance is all going to work. I'm in the middle of the country. I'm in Northern Illinois. Our company is based out of New York, but I'm in Illinois, so I could go either direction. And I used to be on the coast a lot, but my last trip anywhere really was Toy Fair last year, so last February. Now it's kind of a wait and see, because we may start traveling for work again around September or so, and then we'll see. But by then, my kids are going to be back in school again. It's a lot of it's a balancing act, but I definitely want to go, and I'm hoping some of the stuff I keep hearing about turns out to be true, where maybe they'll add a little bit of old trilogy or prequel stuff to the parks, which would be kind of intriguing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really hope you get the chance, man, because it is honestly the coolest thing. Like, if you're a Star Wars fan, you gotta go. You're gonna walk out probably spending near, maybe $500, $1,000. It just depends on how you're feeling that day. But it's awesome.
Closest I've come yet is riding or sitting for the photo op at Star Wars Celebration in the little Rise of the Resistance pod thing.
Mm-hmm.
They had that set up, so that's my taste for now.
Yeah, I remember Jason. Jason, you did that over at Celebration.
I did that at Celebration. I went to the whole. It was before they had opened the park, so I kind of went in and did the whole like little spiel and saw like the stuff they were going to sell and things like that. I did have a question for James, just as kind of a general question.
Yeah, go for it.
As far as the stuff that they're making now, I know a lot of it is sort of geared towards people sort of our age, more like as more collectors. Do you feel like that they're still making Star Wars toys though aimed at kids? Because I know I have a niece and a nephew, and they're just now getting to my nephew loves Darth Vader, and I'm like looking at stuff like the Black Series, and I was like, well, I wouldn't get that for my 3-year-old nephew. But
so a lot of people don't. I would say most of the general public doesn't realize how many toys for kids are actually being sold. And I'll kind of spin it back to what we were just talking about with the lightsabers. Hasbro just released a line of lightsabers specifically for kids that is like this Hero Force type of thing, where they're actually like shaped characters. I don't know if you guys have seen them. Like there's a Luke Skywalker, and it's him in his pilot helmet, but it's actually a lightsaber, and you throw it out and the thing comes out. And there's an R2-D2 and a Stormtrooper and a Darth Vader. So it's kind of, they're like a $8.99, $9.99 item, but it's kind of like a figure, but it's also a lightsaber. That's the type of stuff kids are buying. And one thing that was huge the last like 5-6 years, as like folks from our generation might have been into like the 3.75 inch figures, or maybe now the Black Series, the 6-inch figures. Kids were really buying a ton of those like giant, like 12-inch $9.99 figures that are just like 5 points of articulation. Some people call them a shampoo bottle because they're just like stiff. All of the toys, all of the toy makers, they look great on a shelf, but kids actually really, really like that play pattern. So that's why, like, you might have seen like Mattel was doing like the DC superheroes like that. Spin Master's doing them now like that. Of course, Hasbro still has them. I'm sorry. Oh no, go for it.
No, I was just saying those 12-inch ones. You're right, because I just got my niece and my nephew a Spider-Man and a Spider-Woman from the Spider-Verse movies, and they were in that 12-inch.
Yeah, and even like some of your discounters like Big Lots and Five Below and stuff, they have just 5 POA basic Star Wars figures, And there's always a lot of collector chatter, like, "Oh, look at this junk," or blah blah blah. And it's like, it's not for you. That's for mom and dad, to buy for the kids.
Yeah.
So
I got
kids.
Ginners, some of the discount retailers now, they sell like it'll trickle down to that. I got my Ginner So 6-inch black series from Five Below for $5.
Yep.
Greatest day of my life when I walked in and found that.
There's a chain called Ollie's too that gets a lot of discounted stuff. And Five Below, that's where we picked up our Resistance figures. All of the 3.75 inch. They had those there, and it was a great deal. But that is really where a lot of product, and in the U.S., and we're waiting for the first quarter numbers from this year. But last year, the U.S. toy industry did its biggest business in tracked history. So anyone that ever says like, "Oh," and we run across it constantly, kids just want to play on their phone or their tablet. Yeah, they're doing a lot of that, but they're also still playing with a ton of toys. It just doesn't maybe seem obvious, but when the U.S. toy industry can do like $31 billion in 12 months, that's a lot of toys being sold.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. It usually averages about 25 billion a year. And 27 was kind of a benchmark, and then it hit like 31 last year. So to answer your question, the simple way, yeah, they're still making it, and I think we're going to see more. But I know on a collector note, it's a very complex situation with like availability on some of the stuff like we might want, like the Black Series and stuff. It seems like it's always sold out. There's a whole scalper flipping problem going on right now. Some people are using bots to buy stuff as soon as it goes on sale online. And then the other thing that the toy industry is dealing with right now that will actually, it sort of is already trickling into this space, is that there's a global shipping problem right now. Costs are up everywhere. The ports are all loaded up because once everything started post-COVID again, manufacturing started, merchandise was on ships, and then it gets to the U.S. and there's nowhere to park it. And then on top of that, I don't know if any of you have heard about this, but like stuff is actually falling off boats right now, like thousands of containers. Like this year alone, they usually lose about 1,000 containers a year. I think they've lost 3,000 just in 2021. There are Star Wars figures at the bottom of the sea. That is guaranteed.
Wow.
That is very sad thought.
Yeah.
Okay, girls, scuba trip, let's go.
They overload these gigantic container ships that keep getting taller, they keep getting wider. And at the end of last year, it was like August or September, the largest container ship on the planet lost like 2,900 containers on the way from Asia to the port of LA. And that's happening all the time. And all of the major toy makers have lost product in that. And they won't necessarily say what they lost, but it's happening. So there's this whole other like side to the toy business that's just happening, but it affects everything. So next time you go to Walmart or Target and you see a gazillion empty pegs in the action figure aisle, that's all factoring into that.
Oh, wow.
So my Target is pretty wiped out. I was there yesterday, and I always walk through the Star Wars toy aisle because I'm 12. And so there's like nothing there. But yet 2 weeks ago, they were selling the little stuffed droids for like $5 instead of 15 because they had so many of them in. It was...
Yep.
Yeah.
I had to video call my friend. I'm like, yo, what droid do you want? We got $5 droids in the Target. So I was doing all my Zoom calls with Chopper on my shoulder for a week.
That's a bargain.
Nice. Yeah.
I bought Grief Karga there the other day.
That's one of the few I've seen. I saw Grief. I saw Empire Strikes Back Han Solo, and there was like one other figure, but it's pretty bare. I want one of the Loth Cats, but I haven't like ponied up the money to buy myself a tiny Loth Cat yet because I'm supposed to be an adult.
Oh man.
I've seen y'all's purchases today because this is all a self-fulfilling.
Yeah.
This podcast needs an adult.
I have not bought anything today, so that is
I
get
also,
You're the adult
I
we've
also
been
haven't
asking
bought
for.
anything.
But you
It's
know,
9
I bought
a.m.
stuff
where
the other
you
day.
are.
Yeah.
So
It's 9 a.m. on May the 5th where I am.
Yeah.
I lost my day.
It's Cinco de Mayo. Why are you not drinking yet?
Because I'm pregnant.
Oh, God.
I'm like 6.5 months pregnant. I did.
That's the
I did
perfect
walk
response.
through. I did walk through my local Target yesterday. Target Australia is different than Target US, even though like the branding's the same, and it sucks in comparison. And I walked through the Lego aisle to see the Star Wars stuff, and it was kind of like, and then I walked through the other aisles, and there really wasn't anything. I was bummed because we're sometimes we'll like get something that's definitely like a toy for us, and we'll be like, it's for the
Yeah.
baby when they're older.
It's for the baby.
It'll go in the baby's room.
Oh man.
But yeah, I haven't added anything to any carts or anything like
Mhm.
that. Maybe
So-
maybe I'll see something. Who knows?
This actually leads perfectly into the next question I'm going to ask James. If you had to pick your top 3 items that you think people should get from today, what would they be?
number 1, prototype Boba Fett, the 3.75 inch that was announced on the Hasbro live stream.
Mhm.
That is the follow-up to the prototype Darth Vader that they did as a Target exclusive in 2019. I really wanted that figure from the second that I saw it announced, and I still never got one because I have like, you know, my personal blockheadedness. I'm like, I'm not paying some eBay scalper price. I want
Yeah.
it for $9.99 at Target, and if I don't get it, I'm never gonna get it. But that Boba Fett looks really cool because it's like not only just an interesting piece and it's kind of an art piece, but it's also a little bit of toy history because these prototype figures are in these wacky rainbow colors because that's the way they kind of kit bash and mold their prototypes in real life is they're just in random pieces of plastic so that they can tell like if you have that figure and it has like say 2 orange arms, that signifies that those 2 orange arms come out of the same mold. And you know, if the head is purple and the leg is purple, those probably came out of the same mold as well. So that's kind of what they do, but then it became an artsy thing and people dig it. So Boba Fett for sure. Second thing for me would be the lightsabers that we talked about that are now sold out. So we'll see what happens with that. And then the third would be the this is actually just a completely different category we have not spoken about, but I really like the Xbox controllers that they put out. So there's a new Xbox controller and charging base that was just revealed this morning. So I kind of want that. It's like black and kind of gold. It's really cool. So that would be that. And then my honorary fourth, of course, would be just completing the Bad Batch on the 6-inch figures. Because I really think, too, if this show catches on, remember how hard it was to complete Rebels a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
It's going to be that same thing.
All right. Man, I hope we just got to save money, guys. We just got to save
I
money.
told you, if we get enough patrons, we can buy one hot toy for all of us.
We share it.
I need a hot toy Omega. That's all I want now
Guys,
in my life.
I found it. If you buy the Baby Yoda hot toy, it comes with like 4 Baby Yodas, and y'all can have the Baby Yodas. Somebody can have the frog. I want the little Loth cat. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I want. And
Yeah.
we can just share the hot toy.
Yeah.
We all
Please
get joint
subscribe to our
custody.
Patreon as seen below.
It'd be like a flat Stanley kind of thing where you just mail it all over, or like
Exactly.
the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, there you
They
go.
do that with the Stanley Cup. Yeah.
It'll be
I
great.
used to do that with vintage Star Wars figures in my travels years ago. I'd take like a Kenner Chewbacca and I'd just take him on whatever trip I was, and I'd take pictures of him like Flat Stanley. Like, oh, here's Chewbacca in New York. Here's Chewbacca in LA.
I did that on the last cruise I went on, which was in like last February, so right before the world shut down. I brought those. I don't know if you guys have seen those Hallmark things. They're like those little squishable figures. I have a Kylo Ren, And so I have Kylo Ren with all of the little towel animals my room steward left me, and Over the Edge in the Bahamas, and Kylo Ren at the bar. And
That's awesome. Oh,
now I have
man.
Ray too, so I bought
Yeah.
that. Hallmark had a sale, and they're like $4 off anything. Those are only like $7. $3 Ray coming up.
There you go. And I think just because it would be a really great place to have them, I think if they decide to sell those sabers again, I think it's a safe bet. If they're not on the Shop Disney store, the only place you might be able to get them would be at Galaxy's Edge at Doc Ondars.
I just want Leia's, though. I don't want Luke's. I want Leia's.
Yeah, and I'm sure you'll be able to get them individually if they make it there.
Have you seen the R2 Rainbow that came out today?
Yes.
I think I have.
It was not in the official announcement of all of this stuff today, and it's not on the Shop Disney site, but it showed up at Disney parks. So a bunch of people have it on Instagram, and now I want to get it. It's kind of like they did, they do like the Halloween and the Christmas droids on the blister pack, and they did an R2, and it's weird how they did his number. It's like R2-RN8W, I think. Yeah. So it's the 8, but it reads like R2 Rainbow, and it's part of the Pride collection. But they didn't really plug that in the May 4th thing, which is kind of weird. But now I gotta find that. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I saw
that's
that.
The other thing that's taking all my money is all the Pride merch that's dropping. So
Funko's getting a lot of money.
I saw that. I need Pride BB-8 really badly, and I might have bought $50 worth of Pride stuff from Target already yesterday.
Nice. You got to match that 50 now for Star Wars stuff.
Look, okay. I both am very prideful and very nerdy, and it's just gonna. They're like, yeah, I need it all.
You got to make it happen. So to round out the toy discussion, we're gonna go around the horn here and say, what was your favorite thing that you bought today for May the 4th? Favorite thing. And if you feel brave enough, you say how much it was.
I gotta look back at my receipts. Hold on. I can't remember. No.
I know what I am buying. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm going to buy one of the pieces of art that's on Amazon. They are it's on bags and shirts and phone cases of the new art from Disney. So I'm buying the Rogue One art. Oh, surprising no one. Surprising no one.
Are you getting what format? Are you getting it in like a picture, bag, pillow, all of the above? What are we doing?
Okay, so I was chatting with the artist on Instagram because we're best friends now, apparently. I make friends this easily. No, because I was telling her on her post that I had a Rogue One living room, so she told me to send her pictures of the art I had. So I did. I cannot get it as a poster yet. They may do it, they may not. But if they don't, you can get it as a throw pillow. So I'm going to get it as a throw pillow and put it on the couch.
Oh, yay.
Awesome.
And then probably as a phone case because I am a weak woman who needs that on a phone case.
Perfect.
That's what you want to get. It's what you're going to do.
Perfect. Hannah, what'd you buy? What'd you spend?
So many things. All of it was Bad Batch related. Like I had a theme today. I'm proud of it. But I'm like Meg, where I buy things that I can like use every day, like shirts, things like that. I don't really have the shelf space nor the safety of my pets to put anything anywhere. So I think my favorite thing that I got today, I've been staring at it for a while, was the headband from Creature Cartel with Tori. She did a hunter-inspired headband. It's it's just bright red. It's got the skull on it. It's very casual. It's something I can put in with all the different looks. It doesn't have to be like overtly nerdy, but it's really cool. So it'll go good with the blue hair, I think. I don't think it's
I love that headband. You're going to look great in it.
Oh, I'm excited. I haven't worn a headband in years.
It's like riding a bike.
James, what about you? Did you make any purchases today?
I didn't buy a single thing, so I'm just gonna go with like the coolest thing that I got lately, which I'll show here, and this is only for the video viewers. Is the Greedo in his old Kenner colors? But then I'm gonna go. Oh, here is the '70s Greedo.
Oh my god!
So
cool.
Just because, so that's just kind of like another offshoot piece of what they're doing. And
Yeah.
all of these ones, all of these Star Wars The Black Series on these big old looking cards are in their old Kenner colors, but they're really hard to find because they're all at different retailers.
Yeah.
Mostly Amazon, Target, Hasbro Pulse. So.
Yeah. Jason, did you buy anything today? Or
I
did
came
you have some
very
self-control?
close to getting the Razor Crest Lego because I saw
Yeah.
some place that was on sale, and so I ran to the Amazon site. It was the same price it always was. I was like, no, I'm not getting it.
Oh. Nice.
But I
Bummer.
got this a couple weeks ago. I got the Black Series Qui-Gon that's 6-inch that
Mm,
Nice.
came in the.
nice.
It was a Best Buy exclusive. Remember when I kept getting the wrong figure from Best Buy?
Yeah. Yeah.
I ordered the Qui-Gon and I ordered a Yoda, and they kept sending me the wrong figure. But the Qui-Gon one, they sent the correct one. So
Good.
Yay.
But is he buff?
Yeah.
he's not as buff
Yeah.
as David. No, he's not.
Yeah. My Qui-Gon figure. So it's like a running gag. I busted out this Qui-Gon figure that I've probably had since like 99 or 2000. And it's like basically bare-chested Qui-Gon. Like the dude looks like a gladiator. It's amazing. It's really, really amazing.
We
But
just
yeah,
started commenting him on other podcasts
Yeah.
posts just to make
Oh,
people
yeah.
uncomfortable.
It was so funny. But Meg, what did you buy? I know you said you went like it just kept going.
Oh my
Yeah, you said
god.
you went
going,
hard.
going.
I stopped like keeping track of how much I
Yeah.
bought. Not good. I got like a bunch of Funkos. I got what else? Oh my god, I can't even remember. But
Did you buy the hat, the Bo-Katan hat?
oh my god, I have to remember. Hold on, I gotta remember to do that. Wait, just a second. Hold on.
He's like writing
Hold
stuff
on,
down.
hold on, hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Seeing the chaos in real time. Hi, Pop. Hello,
Oh,
Pop.
my goodness.
So a puppy in a Spirit jersey.
Oh my god.
That
yes.
is the best.
Megan, do this with your child.
I have quite a few
Hey, Pop,
Star Wars
look over
onesies
here.
that my mom sent me.
Oh
They have to
my
grow
goodness.
into it.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm so happy right now.
Oh my god.
What's your
We all
dog's
just
name?
need to get one.
So this is Skylar, like the Skylar
Nice.
sisters in Hamilton.
Yeah.
Oh my
So-
god, love that.
Yeah, she's like 9 months old.
Oh, she is a puppy.
Oh.
We love puppies.
Yeah.
I love puppies.
So she just stole the podcast right here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
she
this-
did.
Our
We're
stream
all
turns
followers
into
of
dog
Skylar
show
the
and tell
puppy.
a lot.
Oh, this just made the stream so much better.
Comments.
So
man.
happy. So many puppies.
Oh.
Oh man.
Mm.
So
Yeah, Meg. What was your
yeah,
top thing?
what was
that you're
your
most
top
excited
thing?
about?
You gotta pick one.
So my they released like a new Darth Vader Funko. Like, of course they did. I don't remember what's different about it. It's just a new one. It's sold out
Is
now.
it
Or
the
at
one with
least
the
it was.
fist?
Yes, that
fist?
one. My partner collects Darth Vader things, so I texted
Aw.
him to let him know that it was a thing. It was already sold out, but then he asked me if I'd seen the. He's like, "Have you seen the Bo-Katan thing?" And I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" So it's like it's a Bo-Katan like bobblehead thing. It's not a Funko, but I got it. So yes,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the thing.
Nice. And Megan, did you get
Yeah.
anything?
Yesterday on my May the 4th, I did buy an almond croissant for $5.
Nice.
Megan wins.
Nice.
Yeah. I did. I went and I had a look around my local Target, and there wasn't really anything. I am also like saving for a baby. Meh. So,
Yeah.
so I'm not really buying things at the
That's
moment.
fair.
That
That's
makes
fair.
sense. Funko Pops?
Yes, but what was that?
You said your baby doesn't need Funko Pops?
Shockingly not. I was
Still a choking hazard.
yeah. Well, back in 2019 when Justin and I went to Galaxy's Edge, we had been talking about starting to try and have a baby, and I was like, I want the room to be kind of like Star Warsy theme nursery, but like subtle in those like soft cloth dolls that they have of like Rey and Kylo and Stormtroopers. I was like, I'd love to get like a Chewie one, a few of those, and we can put them on like a shelf. And then we were like, oh, we're coming back in October of
Yeah.
2020 because we were supposed to do a family vacation with my family.
Yeah.
We can get them then. No. But next time, maybe
Next
my
time,
kid
for
will be
sure.
able to like pick one out in 5 years when we can travel again.
There you go. That would be awesome.
But yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, as for me, I didn't buy anything today. Although I'm not gonna lie, for about 5 minutes, I had those lightsabers in my cart.
Oh my god.
But then I was like, no, couldn't justify it.
Yeah.
Could not justify it.
I didn't know
but
if
what
we'd
I
have to
did
talk you off
buy,
the ledge with those today.
what I did buy a few days, like about a week ago, and it was delivered fairly quickly, is the Ben Solo Funko Pop,
Hello.
Which,
Who's been the shrug?
which
Love
I
it.
We
ordered
have-
mine.
a T-shirt on our TeePublic of the Shrug, which
Aw. It's like looking in a
is-
mirror.
right. Although on the shirt he's a lot more tan, so I don't know if that's like a crossover with the Qui-Gon effect. Instead of more buff, he just gets more tan.
I want to find this Qui-Gon figure now. I need to.
Oh
see
man, I'm
which
just gonna
one
show it
this
to you.
is.
I'll be
Oh
right
my
back.
god.
He has to make an appearance.
Because now I'm thinking,
Here we
can this
go.
be like? Can this be customized like in any other Liam Neeson character? Like all
I
those
just wanna
figures,
know-
you know, all those movies where he wants to like hunt the people down.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, all the takens.
Yeah.
every
or
Liam
the one
Neeson
where he's
movie
like
ever.
driving the snowplow.
All right.
Liam
Oh,
Neeson driving the
yeah.
snowplow from like a
So-
year ago.
Yeah. Is that what the one where he fights the wolves?
I think so.
Yeah.
gray. See, my favorite Liam Neeson movie is like the 1998 version of Les Mis that is really book accurate until about the halfway point, and then it just goes off the rails. That's my favorite because he slams Jeffrey Rush into a wall.
How buff is he in that compared to this action figure?
Not very, no.
I don't know if real Liam
He
Neeson
can pick
is
up
as buff
Uma
as this
Thurman
action
though,
figure.
and Uma Thurman is tall, so he must have been buff if he can carry around Uma Thurman.
I'm just gonna
So is
say,
Jason.
Okay,
James,
I'm
you
sorry,
gotta tell
David.
me if you've seen this figure
Oh god.
before, because obviously when I was a kid, I was like, oh, it's just Qui-Gon. But now, at 25, I'm like, this is like why? Come on, there's no reason to make this guy look like this. But without further ado, buff Qui-Gon.
He's glistening.
That's a good looking Qui-Gon right there.
Yeah,
So he's the 12-inch. Okay,
Yeah,
so I was
yeah.
thinking like the 375, but yeah,
No,
that
no.
one. So there was
The big one.
was the companion Darth Maul for that too.
Where is this?
now I need
that
that.
I used to have that. But not that Qui-Gon, I don't think, because I'd remember that. But that's like Malibu Qui-Gon.
Yeah,
You know, like
Exactly.
You know,
yeah, no, we
that
have to
is-
find you Malibu Mall.
I need
so
a
that
Malibu Mall.
yeah, so that was from the
yeah.
Hasbro 12-inch collection. But yeah, that is very intriguing. But
Yeah.
of course, too, just think about this: like 5 years before those came out was when they did like the buff Luke and buff Lando,
Right.
like the 375
Yeah,
figures.
that-
When it was like, yeah, we kind of want to do He-Man, but not quite. You know,
yeah,
yeah,
It's
it's a
like
weird
those
time
old-
for toys.
oh yeah.
Like those old posters where Luke has his lightsaber up, but he is clearly his like tunic is open, and I'm like, Mark Hamill was not that chiseled in that movie.
That
Right.
Qui-Gon looks like it used that poster for inspiration.
Yes.
All Jedi aspire to be that.
I was gonna
That
say
Qui-Gon had that poster, and every morning you just wake up and do like 8 push-ups before he does anything else.
The slow-mo wind blowing like Fabio.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
I'm telling you.
He's like a
Gotta-
romance novel cover.
Become one with the force.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like you're really
Yeah.
connecting there.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe that's how Ewan McGregor's gonna look in Kenobi. Just don't know. You don't
Yeah, is anybody, I mean, I'm sure everyone has like some hopes of another thing that will be like announced or released today. Like I know
Yeah.
that I know Rachel really wants like an Andor trailer, anything Andor related. Is there anything specific that people are hoping Disney Lucasfilm will kind of crumb out to us?
I just
James,
want one set photo picture of Ewan and Hayden. That's all I want.
Same,
I don't
that's
care
what I
what they're
want, too.
doing. That's all I want.
I think the
Anyways.
next time we'll see anything big is going to be on May 25th.
Yeah, that is
Because
true.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
you've
Yeah.
got real Star Wars Day. You know the dispute.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We can have 2 days in a month. There's
you can
two
have 30 days
Easters
in a month.
Right.
Hi, thank you.
You're round in my heart.
He fits right in.
Sometimes you can even have 31 days. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's true. Or 28.
It's really
you know?
weird.
Yeah,
28,
if you
right.
really want to go off the
29.
wall, you can have 28.
I was
Uh,
going with there's 2 days for Easter, depending on what kind of Christian calendar you follow. There's 2 different Easters. There's Canadian and regular Thanksgiving. We can have 2 Star Wars days. There's enough fun to go
Yes.
around.
Yeah.
They celebrate
Yeah.
Easter for 5 days here. Sorry, that's like it's a total sidebar, but they
That's
celebrate
amazing.
it for 5 whole days. So
Wow.
fuck it. We can have more than one
There you
Star
go.
Wars day.
Tomorrow's
Yeah, but-
Revenge of the 5th.
I expect something will be happening on May 25th this year.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think as far as anything, like I was holding out hope for some sort of sizzle reel, kind of like what Marvel did yesterday. But I think anything in terms of upcoming shows or maybe even a movie. I mean, who knows when the 2023 film is going to be shooting, but I think D23 is probably the next time we'll get anything that's happening on screen, because Boba Fett's coming out, or even maybe Comic-Con. They've been known to drop. We got the Clone Wars trailer at Comic-Con, I think 2018. So
this summer we still will have Comic-Con at home
yeah,
in July. There is going to be another Hasbro PulseCon later this year. So those dates are forthcoming. So there's definitely opportunities to put stuff out there.
yeah,
And then it'll be interesting too to see how the fall develops, because New York Comic-Con usually has a pretty solid Star Wars presence, and there is an in-person event this year.
Mhm.
And then San Diego is still talking about doing something Thanksgiving weekend. So
Okay,
there's a lot of opportunity to roll out content. Just
yeah,
depends like what else it's on top of. Like I was actually kind of surprised that Marvel thing you mentioned came out yesterday, because
Mhm.
usually they don't usually pair up the big brands under the Disney thing like right one after another, where like
right,
oh, Marvel today, tomorrow Star Wars Day.
yeah, yeah. It's
usually
a
some
little weird.
space.
Yeah, yeah. But man, hopefully we get something. Although we got a lot today. I mean, a lot of stuff that's going to make a lot of people excited, especially Disney Parks fans. I know people are saving up for that hotel, and then the unveiling the Star Wars themed bar on the new Disney cruise ship, the Disney Wish, along with the Marvel themed restaurant. I mean, they're doing a lot of immersive stuff. And I think once the parks go back to a, more normal than they already are. I mean, down here in Orlando, we're pretty much, aside from the limiting capacity, even though when you go to the park now, it feels like everybody's there. But once it's opened up fully again, I think they're going to start resuming a lot of projects that they might have been thinking about. But as far as May the 4th goes today, I mean, I feel like a lot of people scored big, and those that are waiting will probably just want to have a little more money in their pocket and maybe see what else comes out as the Bad Batch continues, because I'm sure we'll probably see some characters that we have yet to see. So, do you guys want to do a spoiler discussion to round out the end of the show, or do you want to save that for Friday, since probably a lot of people might still have not watched?
It might
The
be a
Bad
good idea for Friday.
Save it for Friday?
We've all
Okay.
sat with
I
it a
just
little bit
screamed all my
longer,
feelings
so-
at Hannah already, so she got all of them
I
earlier.
literally, I have a Google Doc. Like literally,
Oh,
these
wow.
these are my
Wow.
thoughts.
Good.
Mine
wow.
were
Many
much
thoughts.
shorter than that.
I have many thoughts.
Mine were like
I'll just have
sentence
to go back
bites.
to all of the stuff I was sending you.
Perfect.
Yeah. Plus, also on Friday there'll be another episode, so we can do.
Yeah,
all of
exactly.
that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
us more
I
pain to
forgot we were getting
process
to
through.
this week.
I need
Okay,
to try
so
to get my wife and kids to watch the episode because they haven't seen it yet.
Oh
Hmm.
man,
Oh man.
it's
Just-
so good.
question.
Is your family also into Star Wars?
They are. And my girls were really into Rebels, like
Mhm.
sort of like Rebels is like their thing. That was like what really, hooked them the first. So
Yeah.
Rebels will always hold a special place in my heart because of that.
Yeah.
So we've got all of those memories, but now too as they're getting older, I don't know how they're going to react to this. Like they had no interest in the Clone Wars when that came back last year. But Bad Batch to me, narratively, especially from this first episode, feels like it's something that you can more just jump into and start here. Like it's going to be the arc of these characters without like, I got to watch 7.5 seasons of this other show, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll be into that. But yeah, they were very big into dressing up and stuff. We went to Celebration, so I had a little Rey and a little Stormtrooper and that type of stuff. So
That's awesome.
so it's all quite delightful. So
Yeah, that's
Awesome.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh
I was
man.
gonna say with Bad Batch narratively, I didn't finish the Clone Wars. I just watched the Bad Batch arc and then went right into Bad Batch, and I understood everything. So that's been
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're treating this kind of as the Mandalorian of animation, where it's like you can kind of jump into this. It gives you kind of enough of background. You're like, maybe I want to
Yeah.
go back, but you don't have
Yeah.
to know everything.
Right.
So
I
I appreciate
today. Does anybody know? Like, I didn't analyze it because I watched it right before I had to go to rehearsal. I think we've seen most of what they showed us in the trailer. Like in that
Yeah.
first episode, I
Mhm.
think we saw it
Yeah,
all.
for the
Yep.
most part. They're like a shot here and there of
Everything
future
but the
episodes, but
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
but Fennec. But I think we're gonna
Fennec
get.
stuff.
I think we're gonna get that stuff in the next episode. I think they're gonna again pull another
I was just-
Mandalorian.
I was
Yeah.
just like, I don't know where they're taking me, but I'm here. I'm here for it.
yeah. Yeah, it's definitely going to be quite the ride. I mean, we've got 16 episodes, so much longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's
Is
exciting.
it going to overlap with Loki then, where they're
Yeah.
releasing?
Barely, yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll might get maybe 1 or 2 episodes into Loki with Bad Batch.
Ooh,
Mhm.
I got
but-
stuff to do on Friday nights now. Yeah.
it's going to be great.
Hashtag never.
Hell yeah.
Hashtag team no sleep.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, Emily has a point.
We haven't
She would.
seen
She
Rex
pulled us-
yet.
We have not seen
The
Rex.
line.
Oh my
Where
God.
is he?
Of course, that would
Oh,
be the
man.
thing that I'm like, I thought you were going away because there was thunderstorms, Emily.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I have to come back and correct this about my voice.
Right.
There's been a
Right.
disturbance in the force.
Yeah, she could just
She
sense
felt it.
that we were like, we've seen it all.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, I
Oh,
do
man.
think too this will be interesting in how this show particularly ties in all of these other things too, because
Mhm.
without doing the spoiler thing, we've already seen connections in one episode
Yeah.
to different areas of Star Wars storytelling today,
Yeah.
and that's only one episode that we've
Yeah.
seen this happen.
Mhm.
And all of those other characters, like we know Fennec Shand, for example, is going to be in this. That's like revealed already. So
Yeah.
there's your Mandalorian tie-in, just one of question mark, maybe many. But the way maybe some of those folks that enjoyed the Mandalorian that didn't watch any of the animation before could get into this.
Right. Right. And I really think that's going to happen as these episodes progress because, granted, people want to see those characters that they know like pop in every now and then. But I think once the show gets rolling, it'll like people will want to see the Bad Batch. They're going to want to see those characters above anyone else. So, yeah, I mean, we got another episode Friday. Then after that, it's weekly, and we'll see where this thing goes and how long it's going to go on for. Because who knows? Could
Not
be
a limited series.
it could be 1 season, could be 4, 5. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
They said they have plans, so I have hope.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, James,
so
if they're gonna string out these characters as the toys over a year, does that mean that it's not a 1 season and done, and that they plan on doing multiples? Just from sort of your experience with the toys.
It's
put
really
stuff
not
together.
gonna matter because they have a habit too of there will be fans that want certain characters that they're just not gonna get ever too, which is a thing.
Mhm.
So you look at it now. I mean, they're still filling in gaps from other things from years ago. It took
Mhm.
the Black Series version of the Rebels. It took them years to fill that out. So I don't know on this one. There's a lot. I wouldn't put it past them to reveal more characters as toys on May 25th, because we're going to see additional characters over the next couple weeks on the show, and that gives them another opportunity to do a 1-2 punch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you figure they'll reveal more late summer when they do the next PulseCon.
Yeah.
Because you look at the overlapping too of branding with like with the way the toy companies handle different things. Like next month is a big G.I. Joe month for Hasbro, so they probably won't inject too much Star Wars in there.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out. And I just off that first episode, I know there are gonna be so many figures that come out and Lego sets and whatnot that people are really gonna want. So with that, James, thank you so much for coming on tonight, talking to us about all this cool stuff. It's been a total blast, and hopefully we'll get you back soon once we get some more stuff coming out, or maybe when your guys' deliveries get to your houses, we'll have like a whole review show. That'd be a lot of fun.
An unboxing.
Yeah, and live unboxing. There you go.
Okay, it's
Nobody
gonna be an
can open your
unboxing.
thing. What?
And it's going to be an unboxing at the same time. All of us are like, wait, did I order all of this? What did I order?
Right. It's just going to be like, whatever box I open, I guess that's what I'm going to look at.
Yeah, I can moderate for you guys.
There you go. Oh, man. But, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope you guys also were able to get a lot of stuff today. And if you bought those lightsabers, you must be doing pretty well, because, man,
let us know what you do for a living.
Let us know.
They're going right on eBay.
Yeah. That's very true.
That's a thing.
Probably going to be like $1,000. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, we've got new episodes coming out every Monday at 11 a.m. We're going to be recording a spoiler-filled review of episodes 1 and 2 of The Bad Batch this Friday night for patrons. You're going to get that live streamed at 9 p.m. Eastern on Patreon. And then for all you guys, it'll be up next Monday at 11 a.m. We're going to be doing a lot more of your Star Wars Journey episodes. And yeah, any other cool stuff that happens, we'll let you know, and we'll make sure to record it, because, what else do we do? And Saturday night happy hour. I'm going to go off the rails every Saturday, so it's going to be fun. So
and I'm
again,
compelled to tell you all that you can now change your chat theme on Facebook to Star Wars.
There you go.
Important information.
Important information.
An important final message.
Guys, make sure to go do that. And on that, scroll at the bottom of your screen. You guys can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and become a patron. For just $1, you get episodes early and see our faces for every show. We got a TeePublic, so you can buy some shirts and stuff. But thank you guys, and until next week, may the Force be with you always.